The first 72 hours without caffeine felt like my brain was shutting down. Not just tired. I'm talking headaches, zero motivation, and a level of brain fog that made simple tasks feel difficult. And the strange part? I didn't realize how dependent I was until I tried to stop. So I removed caffeine completely for 30 days. No coffee, no tea, no energy drinks, nothing. And what happened to my energy, focus, sleep, mood, and even how my brain functioned under pressure was far more intense than I expected. Because caffeine isn't just a habit, it's a daily neurological shortcut. It overrides your natural energy system. So when you remove it, your body doesn't just adjust. It has to rebuild how it works from the ground up. Let's break down exactly what happens. Chapter 1. The first 72 hours, withdrawal hits hard. Let's start with the hardest phase, the first 3 days. Day 1 feel manageable. You're slower, slightly unfocused. Maybe a mild headache starts creeping in. You think, this isn't so bad. Then day 2 arrives, and that's when it hits. The headache becomes more intense. Your energy drops sharply. Your brain feels heavy. Even basic tasks feel like effort. And by day 3, that's the peak. You wake up tired. You stay tired. Your focus disappears, and your mood, low, irritable, unmotivated. This is the point where most people quit. What's actually happening inside your brain? Caffeine blocks adenosine, the chemical that builds up throughout the day and makes you feel sleepy. But your brain adapts. If you consume caffeine daily, your brain creates more adenosine receptors to compensate. So when you suddenly remove caffeine, all that adenosine floods those extra receptors at once. That's why everything feels amplified. Fatigue feels heavier. Headaches feel sharper. Focus feels harder. And those headaches, they're not random. Caffeine also constricts blood vessels in your brain. When you stop, those blood vessels expand again. This increase in blood flow contributes to that pounding headache. So what you're feeling isn't weakness, it's your brain rebalancing itself in real time. Chapter 2. The energy collapse, why you feel drained all day. Now let's talk about energy, because this is where things get frustrating. When you rely on caffeine daily, your body gets used to outsourcing energy. Instead of producing energy naturally, it waits for stimulation. Caffeine increases, adrenaline leads to immediate alertness. Dopamine leads to motivation and drive. Cortisol leads to stress-based energy, so you feel productive. But it's not sustainable energy, it's borrowed. When you remove caffeine, your body hasn't caught up yet, so your natural systems lag behind. This creates that feeling of waking up tired, crashing midday, struggling to get started. And here's something subtle. Even your decision-making slows down because your brain is trying to conserve energy, so it avoids effort. This is why everything feels harder, not just physically, but mentally. Chapter 3. Brain fog and dopamine. Reset why you lose motivation. This is the phase most people misunderstand. It's not just tiredness, it's lack of drive. You don't feel like doing anything. Even things you normally enjoy feel less interesting. That's dopamine. Caffeine artificially boosts dopamine signaling. Over time, your brain adjusts by reducing its natural sensitivity. So when you remove caffeine, dopamine activity temporarily drops. This leads to low motivation, reduced focus, lack of interest, slower thinking. It's not laziness, it's a temporary dopamine reset. And here's the important part. This is actually a good thing because your brain is recalibrating to respond to real rewards again. Chapter 4. The hormonal shift, cortisol and stress response. Now let's go deeper. Caffeine doesn't just affect your brain, it affects your hormones. Every time you drink caffeine, your body releases cortisol, your primary stress hormone. In small amounts, that's useful. But daily repeated stimulation, that keeps your body in a mild stress state. Over time, this can lead to feeling wired but tired, energy crashes, increased anxiety, Poor recovery. When you quit caffeine, your cortisol patterns begin to reset. At first, you feel worse because your body is used to that stimulation. But after a few days, your stress system begins to stabilize. And that's when you start feeling calmer. Chapter 5, The Turning Point, days 5 to 10. Somewhere between day 5 and day 10, things begin to shift. The headaches fade. Your energy starts coming back slowly. Your brain feels clearer. Not sharp like caffeine, but more natural. This is where many people notice something interesting. You're not as high, but you're also not crashing. Your system is leveling out. Your adenosine receptors are normalizing. Your dopamine system is stabilizing. Your cortisol levels are dropping. And for the first time, you start feeling consistent. Chapter 6, Sleep Transformation, the Game Changer. Now here's where the real upgrade happens. Sleep. Caffeine stays in your system longer than most people think. Even if you don't feel it, it's still affecting your brain. It reduces deep sleep. It delays REM cycles. It fragments your recovery. When you remove caffeine completely, your sleep quality improves. You fall asleep faster. You wake up less during the night. Your sleep becomes deeper. And this creates a powerful cycle. Better sleep leads to better recovery, leads to better energy, leads to less need for stimulation. So instead of forcing yourself awake, you actually wake up ready. Chapter 7, Stable Energy and Performance, weeks 2 to 4. By week 2, something changes. Your energy stops fluctuating so much. No dramatic highs, no sudden crashes, just a steady level throughout the day. This is because your body is now producing energy more efficiently, regulating hormones better, operating without artificial spikes. And here's something unexpected. Your focus improves in a different way. Not intense, but more controlled. You can sit longer, think clearer, stay consistent. This is performance without overstimulation. Chapter 8, Mood, Anxiety, and Mental State. Now let's talk about something subtle but powerful. Your emotional state. Caffeine stimulates your nervous system. And for many people, that increases anxiety, restlessness, irritability. When you remove it, your system calms down. Your thoughts slow slightly. Your reactions become less intense. You feel more in control. Not overly excited, not overly drained, just balanced. And that balance is something most people don't realize they're missing. Chapter 9, The 30-Day Outcome, What Actually Changed. After 30 days, the difference is clear. Not dramatic in one moment, but consistent across everything. You wake up with natural energy. Your focus is smoother. Your sleep is deeper. Your mood is more stable. Your cravings reduce. And most importantly, you're no longer dependent on caffeine to function. Final verdict. Is quitting caffeine worth it? Let's be real. Caffeine works. It's powerful, fast, effective. But it comes with a cost, dependency, energy fluctuations, hidden impact on sleep and stress. Quitting caffeine isn't about avoiding it forever. It's about understanding what your body feels like without constant stimulation. Because once you experience stable, natural energy, you realize something important. You don't need to feel wired to feel productive. If you had to quit one habit for 30 days, what would it be? Drop it in the comments. And if you want more deep science-based breakdowns like this, subscribe to Real Science Maverick and turn on notifications. Because the smallest daily habits have the biggest long-term effects.